Yo, what is up, Crockxen clan members and others who have stumbled upon this video? I'm SoresanCrockxen, bringing you guys a new Korra episode review slash reviews, because it's technically a two-episode parter. So I gotta say, this thing was freaking epic. Like, I love this backstory. It's amazing. So basically, the whole premise, just to get that out of the way, the whole two-episode parter, because it's technically part one, part two, is basically the first Avatar. We get to meet the first Avatar. So the way this all starts off is that Korra, remember Korra was passed out on the beach, had no clue who she was. Terrible amnesia, like this is just bad. So, the fire sages come in and bring her in and put her in some magic water. They didn't explain what the freak it was, but it was like magic water, and like her spirit stuff came out, and then like apparently she needs to find this thing named Rava. And then she meets all the past avatars, Aang, Roku, I forget her name, Kyoshi, and then the other waterbender. I don't think they ever said his name. I don't think they ever said his name. But yeah, so she meets all previous four up to that waterbender. And then she meets the first Avatar, WAN. She asks if he's Rava, and he's like, no, but I can lead you to Rava. And then he goes off to say she's gonna learn the story of how he became the first Avatar. Which, by the way, I thought he was a total douchebag when the story started, because he kind of was. I mean, I like the fact that he was a thief because of the rich and all this nonsense. I gotta say, I understand the reason behind his actions. Doesn't mean I'm gonna like it though. I mean, there's way better ways to do this. But yeah, that was there. So he steals from like the rich, which is this weird family, the Chose, something like that. So he steals from them because they're the rich people. They're the best, the highest grossing people in the entire place. So he takes food to, like, he actually is being hunted down by the Chu family. Like, I guess it's the children. When he finally gets home, he got home with almost nothing, like three pieces of bread, or that's what it seemed like. And he gave one to his friend, and gave one to this old man who was like half man, half tree barks or something. And then he ended up, the last piece of bread, which was supposed to be his, he actually got a bite, and then the rest, like, animals started flourishing in, so he like gave it all to them. They're like, whoa, what are you doing? You gotta eat too. I'm like, yeah, but they need it more than me. I like that. The fact that he does have that kind of personality. He wants to help other creatures. But he's doing it in the wrong way. Sort of. It's a bad reason. So what happens next is that he meets this group who are going out, because apparently in the beginning it was humans versus spirits, which is kind of what we're dealing with now. It was humans versus spirits, and in order to go into the forest where the spirits flourished, they have to get permission, or they have to go in groups. And then these groups go talk to the city thing, which is actually a giant lion turtle. Awesome thing to bring back, by the way, because I love the lion turtle in the previous series. That thing came out and taught Aang how to freaking spirit bend. That was freaking epic. So apparently that's where people live now. They live in lion turtles. So the lion turtle that he lived in gave them firebending. Before we get on this, I just want to bring out the fact that firebending is pushed way too much in this series. It's a small rant I'm doing right now. I'm sorry, but why is it that firebending is like the main thing here? Like literally everything has to do with firebending. Is it because in the last series firebending was considered evil, and everybody evil was a firebender, and so now they're trying to make it better because now people who are firebenders are good guys, and they're trying to show that, or what? Because we have an Avatar who's a waterbender. She was born in the South Tribe, as a waterbender, and the element she uses the most just happens to be fire. And then what do you know? The first avatar, the first element he gets, fire. Oh my gosh, what is their obsession with firebending? I don't know. I'm sorry, it's a small rant, but I'm just getting ridiculous. I want to see other elements being shown off more. I mean, back in the first series, it was kind of evenly split. Even though Firebending is the main bad guy, you had Toph, an earthbender, Katara, a waterbender, and Aang, an airbender, and they all have their major roles. All elements were shown off good enough. In this one, no. Firebending's everything. I don't get it. It's weird. But moving on with the story, so he goes and he actually steals firebending from the lion turtle. Total douchebag move right there. Just saying, because it's the douchebag move. You're stealing from your home, literally. And then, he goes in. It's a rebel whole situation, trying to take down the government, all that nonsense. And then freaking he gets banished because, he used firebending. He stole the firebending from the lion turtle, and then he tried to attack the royalty, basically. The lion turtle, on the other hand, said that he could keep firebending. He could keep his firebending. He just couldn't come in the city no more. He's just gone. You can't come back. Ever. He literally you can't come back. So he lived he lived in the forest. He was kind of bad shape because spirits are not nice. They're not nice apparently. They're nice, but they don't like humans. It's an invasion stuff, concept and stuff like that. Anyways, there's a freaking spirit party going on. He tries to go in this place, and there's like this giant lemur-looking spirit thingy. He's like, where are you going? And it's like this argument. And then he gets kicked off, and then there's a freaking huge line of spirits because they're gonna have a party in this oasis that they have in there. So they go, I'll go in. He comes back. He's like dressed in this like weird bush outfit that he just randomly had, made right then in the spot. And then he got caught. He got kicked out, and then he leaves to find the nearest lion turtle city because there's more of them. He didn't know that. There's more of them. So he goes, and then he sees this cat, or not, it's like a tiger deer thingy. It's like in a net, and then the people who he was supposed to go with earlier, like the group, the gang thing, that were supposed to go to the forest to find supplies, they were the ones that set up the trap. He actually saves the tiger deer thing, and then we finally figure out like the spirits controlling human beings situation. Like that lemur thing, after WAN was being attacked by these guys, the lemur thing came in and took over this guy, and it's like, I hate humans, and then the leader like ran off, and he got out, and then like he transformed into a half lemur, half human person. So that's how, I'm guessing, I don't know how the other dude became half tree. I don't even want to think how that dude became half tree. But we see how the spirits take over the body. And he actually goes off to explain the spirits can't hold the body for too long, otherwise they'll kill the host. Which is really a bad thing, So he becomes a part of the spirit family. So he stays there and just lives with them and has fun with them. He trains with them. He freaking does the fire dragon dance. I was not expecting that. You guys remember Aang and Zuko in the temple? Freaking firebending, dancing. He learned that. I was like, oh my gosh, way to bring that back. And then so, it's been like 2 years or so, something like that. And then he like runs into like this guy, who is like, it's not a guy. It's two giant spirits. Like the area he reaches, like two giant spirits, and are fighting each other and crashing and destroying everything. And WAN gets in the way because, they're damaging the landscape. So apparently, we find out that it's a white and reddish black one. And it's like light and darkness, I guess. But he didn't, think of that or whatever. Because the dark one actually kept asking for help, so he rescued him by breaking the thing. They were connected between their tails. He actually broke that, and then the other guy got away. We find out that's Batu. That's the thing. That's Darkness' name apparently, and then the other one is Rava. So the thing Korra is looking for, Rava. And she's pissed at him because she ruined everything and she's not getting involved, blah, 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 letting darkness and chaos and everything to the world. It's all his fault. So he kind of feels bad. So he's actually riding the tiger deer, the cat deer. He named it Mula. And Mula, like that name. So he goes off into the sunset, and then he ends up finding airbenders. I was like, whoa, way to get airbenders in there first. Pretty cool, not gonna lie. Which actually makes sense. It's fire, air, water, earth. That's the order he got him in too. It's freaking ridiculous. Apparently that's the order it's supposed to go. So he created the order, I guess, because he got firebending first, then earth, or then air, then water, then earth. But that's besides the point. He meets the airbenders. The airbenders run away. He finds the freaking lion turtle is floating in midair. I was like, what? So he does this weird contraption. It's like a catapult made out of a tree branch, and then he firebends the thing that was tied, which flings him over. I was like, why did, like, he almost fell. I was like, why didn't you just propel yourself with firebending? It's like a normal, it's like a done deal nowadays. It's like, I don't know, first Avatar, hello, maybe you'd have thought of something like that. But I'm just saying, maybe it's because he was the first Avatar. He had no idea how to do things. Anyways, he meets them, and then Batu comes in, attacks everybody, all the spirits in the airbender place start turning evil and all this crap, and then freaking Rava comes in and kind of saves everything in a way. I mean, he was doing work. Like, freaking WAN was deflecting a bunch of the evil spirits away, trying to protect the airbenders. And then so she's a lot smaller. I mean, she's a little bit smaller, and then Batu got bigger, which just shows that Batu's growing in strength. So he gets airbending from the lion turtle, but not technically. Like, he gave it to Rava, and it was supposed to be a thing where she has to go through him, and then he would get the new element. But it's like a switch. You can't have firebending while having airbending. So he lost firebending to get airbending. So Rava was like a bank right there. She was holding the element that he was not using. So it's like a team up. It's they're teaming up. They become friends, or it's more like they have to be together because WAN wants to save the world and Bravo has to save the world. It's her job. And then it's like this whole story explaining all this stuff, and then she talks about this thing called spirit convergence. Which is the technique that she must use in order to give him the elements and all this stuff. And then she starts explaining all the bad stuff, the war between her and Batu over the years, over the 10,000 years, because everything has to be like a huge ass number. So all that stuff, and then he gets water bending, and he gets earth bending. He starts training. He's training and training and training and training. Being the first Avatar, he's got to train like crazy. And then they end up reaching this place, and it's like there's freaking people burning down trees and just burning shit. And then so they go over there, and it's freaking Juan's old friends from town. Like they left, and then they're on their own. They all have firebending because they left the city, so the lion turtle gave them their power and then sent them off. So they have firebending, and apparently they don't give a damn about the spirits right now. Literally, they are against all spirits, and he thinks that they're talking about the evil spirits, but turns out that they just don't care about any of them. It's whatever comes at them, they're going down. And then and he's like, whoa. Like he had to actually protect Rava for a second. So like these huge gang of spirits come from this side, and then they're like, oh, okay, we're gonna stop them. They're like this, ready to face off. And then guess who's there? The freaking lemur, and then a bunch of the other little spirits that he used to live with for those 2 years that he was with them. And then it's like the weird thing happened. We see like he's trying to stop the conflict. So he's using airbending over here. That's the element he had at the moment. Airbending over here, blocking everything. So like no conflict would happen. And Batu comes in and he takes over all the good spirits and turns them into bad and start attacking each other and this and that. And then freaking the first Avatar state totally sucked. It was pathetic. So, Rob basically has to go in there and stay in there, take over his body kind of way. And then he used all 4 elements, and that kind of stopped him. It kind of took away some of the evilness over here. And then, but it didn't last too long, because remember, spirit takes over human body for too long, the host body dies. So he kind of loses it, and then Rava has to take him away, and then all the freaking humans died, apparently. Like, oh, they just die, they're gone, like, forever. And then, so, yeah, and then, so they find out about this thing called the Harmonic Convergence. I wrote it down because I needed to know that. Harmonic Convergence, which is the fight that Rava and Batu have to have in order to decide the fate of the world. So, if Rava wins, happiness and sunshine. If Batu wins, darkness and destruction. Basically, that's the rule. And here's the thing: you can't. They actually, like, she explains it. You can't destroy the other one. I mean, you can destroy it, but it's not really gone. It'll show up again. Because light can't exist without darkness, and darkness can't exist without light. So regardless of the outcome, the other one's going to come back eventually. But if Batu wins, world's going to go bye-bye. So nobody's going to see her come back. By the way, yeah, Rava's the girl, and Batu's the boy. That's the way they portray these two giant diamond-shaped spirits. Freaking shit happens. They go in, and the harmonic convergence is going to happen. It took like a year. So there was all that training going on. So they have to actually, I think it was the South Pole that they went through. I don't know. It was either the South or the North, obviously, because it was covered in snow and ice. So it's one of the poles. And then they had to go. They went through the portal, and that's where the fight was going to be, like this giant arena. And then Ra was like this tiny thing, and he actually put it in a freaking bag. And then Batu's like this huge ass thing. And they're gonna fight. But here's the thing. Freaking WAN is like, whoa, before you get to her, you gotta pass through me. And he's like, oh, no human can beat me. And it becomes this fight. Of course, he's gonna have firebending. That's literally the only element he has right now. So he does firebending. He's getting his ass handed to him. And then he kind of like, WAN. He screams out to Rava, Rava, we need to be together to destroy him, to finish him off, and to fight together and all this stuff. And then so she comes in, takes over, and he has all 4 elements again. And he's like fighting him, and then he's doing a lot better. But it gets to the point where that limit gets reached, and like he falls down. You can actually see it, like he starts blurring out, and then so he goes in, and he's still like, no, we gotta finish this. So she's like, I gotta get out. And he's like, no, we're gonna finish this together. And they keep on fighting, he's doing okay, I guess. He wasn't in the Avatar state, by the way. It's just this controlling all 4 elements at the moment, and he's like fighting him, and then gets knocked out again. The blur happens, and then like the convergence is gonna start. You see all the planets all lining up and everything, and it's all cool and everything. And then freaking he's actually thrown, and he's being crushed by Batu, and he's like right next to the portal. And then the 2 portals that the one that Batu came through, and then the one that Rava and WAN and Mula came through, like converge. And then freaking WAN just comes in and touches the portal, and a true Avatar state comes out, freaking wrecking everything. Like it becomes I gotta say, that fight was epic at that point. Literally, there's like fighting each other, and then he did it like the opposite of what Aang did. Everyone remembers the fight between Aang and Ozai. At the very end, Aang had all 4 elements surrounding him. He basically did the same thing here, but against him. So he surrounded Batu with all 4 elements. So you had the air, the water, hold on. The air, water, earth, and fire. So in that kind of order. I don't know if you visualize that, but and then he crushed him, or not crushed him, but tightened him in and shoved him in a hole, and then he closed both portals. He closed the one that Vatu came through, and then told all the spirits had to go back to spirit world. He closed that portal, and it became this mission of his to keep the world in balance. And then, but when he got old, and the land turtles basically said, "You're all done. Like we're no longer protecting you guys." So that happened. So all humans, it became this conflict. So Juan did what he could, but alas, old age gets to you. He died. He's like, "I'm sorry, Rahul. I couldn't help you keep balance and peace and love and all this stuff." And she's like, "Don't worry about it. We will live together through your lifetimes." And then he dies, and so she comes out, and all of a sudden we see a baby be born, or we hear a baby be born. We don't even see the baby. And Korra wakes up and is like, "Whoa!" And they're like, "Oh, do you know who you are?" And like, "Yes, I'm Korra, and I'm the Avatar." And so basically, Juan started the Avatar cycle, and she got it. She's the Avatar. I'm back. She's back. And then apparently the Harmonic Convergence is gonna happen soon. I was like, "What the heck?" We actually just heard that. What is this? So that means Korra has to battle Vatu or what? I don't know. And then she rides on a bison. That was cool. The fire sages came out and said that they had been taking care of this herd of bison for years. So she gets to ride one away, and then the episode ends, and I'm like, "Oh, I can't wait for the next stuff." I'm really excited though. That was actually kind of cool. I love this episode. Like I said, I didn't like Juan in the beginning because he's kind of a douchebag, but then, and his reasonings, although kind of, it's kind of reasonable. It's a reasonable reason. That sounds so stupid. It was a reasonable thing that he said, but, I don't know, I didn't like the fact that he was doing it that way. But he became cool later on. He showed his love for the spirits and all this stuff, and it was just amazing. I love what they did with that. So, Juan, you're amazing. You're awesome, and I doubt we'll ever see you again, but you were the first Avatar. You're the first. I still ain't getting more, but you're the first. You got your 4 elements in a weird way, plus you were with a freaking humongous spirit of light. So there's that. Firebending, you're way too much, man. You're way too much. Drop it down. Drop it down. Just say. Anyways, that was the review for episode 7 and 8, actually. So, I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Leave your comments down below what you thought of this episode / 2-episode parter. I thought it was awesome. I can't wait for the next episode. I really can't. And yeah, so I guess that's it for this review. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys later.